Hello and welcome to the Meeple Mentor YouTube channel. I'm Jared. Today we're doing an unboxing of this year's latest game, Earth from Inside Up Games. It's by Maxime Tardif and presented by Connor McGoey. Earth is a engine building kind of game with like some combos and it's cards, and there's soil is your main resource, and you're spending that to play a lot of these flora and fauna cards, mostly flora. Let's read the back and get right into what's inside. I have played this a few times. It's really, really fun, and so I picked up a copy for myself. Over millions of years of evolution and adaptation, the flora and fauna of this unique planet have grown and developed into amazing life forms, creating beautiful symbiotic ecosystems and diverse habitats. It's time to create your island, a 4x4 tableau of self-supporting growth, expansion, and supply where even the cards you don't need become compost for future game. Earth is an open-world engine builder for 1 to 5 players with simple rules but many strategic possibilities. Simultaneous prosperity. When the active player chooses their major benefit, all other players also gain a minor benefit. This means more playing and less waiting. Stackable wood pieces with canopies and trunks. Thanks to double-sided cards, there are 20 islands, 20 climates, and 64 ecosystems, which means that there are 25,600 possible starting setups. Welcome to nature's diversity. Yes, so there is a team variant and also a solo game that you can play this with, or, so it was saying that, yes, the active player chooses the main action, and every other player also gets to take the minor action related to that and trigger potential combos. So like if they choose like the green, then all your cards that have that green ability you can trigger. And so with that, there's really not a lot of downtime. You're always on. You're always playing and doing something on your turn. It can be a lot of fun, and it plays fairly quick, considerably to how much you get done, and comparable games that do the same kinds of card play engine building. There's the rule book. Obviously, we just went through. Here we've got an achievement sheet. So it's a kind of like a nice thick paper there. You can write down people's names for who won the first game and various conditions here. Win with 0 points from compost. All right. When it says compost, that's actually talking about like the cards that you essentially discard into a face down discard stack. And those are worth a point each unless you have some scoring modifier. So this is like a double-sided board for different player counts, I believe. This one actually has these extra sides here, which are 2 other in-game scoring conditions that everybody does. I guess maybe that's alternative, like if you want to play with those extra 2 in-game conditions or not. But essentially you've got these claimable milestones, and the first player to claim them gets more points. But everyone can claim them except for this one here, which is only 1 player. Whoever completes their tableau 4x4 first gets to claim that bonus extra points there. So we've got some boards here. Really cool artwork here on the back, but everybody's board otherwise will have essentially the same instructions and locations found on it. Over here at the top, these are the 4 actions that you select as the active player, and then the non-active players take the bottom half. And you can see the color coding there, that when that whole action is selected, everyone's cards in green or everyone's cards in orange or rainbow get activated, and those get activated from top to bottom, left to right, like reading. And then these are some scoring type things or starting cards and stuff like that. And then you play your event cards down here and your compost cards over here. You can store your leaf tokens here and, soil and whatnot. This must be for the team board. So this is team 1, team 2. I've not played the team game yet, so it's hard for me to say, how that works out. But on the other side is another player board, because you can play up to 5 players. So as you can see, all the fronts of these are identical. And then this must be another solo mode. I think this must be part of the solo game mode. Not sure how that plays out, but you can see how it's going to store the little sapling tokens or sprouts right there. And here we've got essentially just two sides, but one side has the actions also shown on the bottom and this little icon here. So maybe this is the solo mode player board. I'm not sure. But there's that. And here we've got punch board for all the various tokens. We've got some square punch out tokens, which might just be for extra sprout tokens. You've got your 5 leaf tokens. You've got the soil here, a lot of 1s, and then some 5s, 10s, stuff like that. And then this is essentially the active player marker. Perhaps the first player marker got punched out already, kind of fell in there. So there's that. So that essentially doesn't move and marks, if you complete the game or someone triggers the end, you play equal turns from the first player. And here we've got some of the fun components before we get into the cards. Here you can see it includes a nice score pad, fully illustrated with a little background there. Enough for 5 players to jot everyone's score. Here you've got the canopy tokens, and these are what you use on certain cards that let you grow like tree trunk pieces. And each card that has them will have a number showing you how many trunks can go on there. And once you place the top piece or the final piece on that card, you just cap it with a canopy to show that it's completed. The completed, growth on cards will generally be worth more points than not, because by default, each trunk piece, which are these, I'll go ahead and open that, it'll be worth 1 point apiece. But by completing the canopy on a given card, you'll end up scoring more, or hopefully more than 1 point per trunk on the card. So like, for instance, if it says 3, and you put 3 on there, the score might give you 5 instead of 3 points. So these are really nice components. These are wooden pieces. They have this little dot at the top to allow for easy stacking of the tree trunks, because again, you're going to create kind of these growth stacks on your cards and then cap them with those canopies. Very, very nice components there. Then we've got lots of the sprout tokens. So, essentially just painted green cubes. These are also worth a point each at the end of the game, unless you've got some other scoring modifier. But you don't just collect them, they have to be placed on cards that store those sprouts. So you can see there's a lot of synergy going on with the gameplay here and how the cards work. And the cards are going to have all kinds of information on it and how those can score you points and interact with other cards, including scoring cards that are able to give you more than the standard amount of points. And some of those are dependent on, your grid that you lay out. And I'm having some trouble getting this card deck open. The plastic is just fighting me right now. Okay. Starting to come across here. Open. Wow. Have I ever struggled so much to open some cards? All right, what do we have here? We've got some starting type cards here. And these brown ones, solo mode. All right, so some solo starting cards. We've got some of the cards here that, these are actually extra type of scoring. So like the leaf there is 2 points. So this one's like 2 points per orange category card in any one player's area. There's going to be a lot of unique cards. It's going to be similar to a game like Wingspan, where every card is different, even though they may have similar, features or effects. But you can see the artwork here is great. Some of it, even looks like photos. I don't know if all of them are going to be photos. Like this one looks more like a painting. But it's a nice mix of art here that very pleasing to the eye, and volcanic eruption. Like that's just what it is. There's a tornado, there's a typhoon, tropical storm, and so these cards here are those lightning bolt icon is like an event. So these can be played out of turn or at any point for their effects, and then placed face down on your board. So these are very interesting in how they work. And then once you kind of get used to what the symbols are and how those work, all the cards start to really come together. Cold front, how about that? Steam vents. And as I go through some of these cards, if you're looking and want to see more, I recommend you slow down the video and pause it over any given card that you want to take a closer look at. But any card will have, point values on it from 0 to negative to positive. Usually events are going to be 0 or negative, and the other cards are generally going to be worth a positive amount of points. Some of those brown ones that have those extra scoring methods done at the end of the game, usually the cards themselves may not have a high point value because they have scoring methods that score you more for, various things later. These green cards are all kind of the flora cards, which is most of what's going to be in this deck. And you can see the icons there at the top. They have like the sun or a little snowflake and things like that. Those are just various ways to identify the cards for scoring purposes or comboing certain things. And then you can see there's how, if a card can hold sprouts, the number of squares there with the little leaf shows you how many it can hold. And the leaf is just there to show you that, if you cover that up with the sprout, you'll be getting a point for that. And yeah. A lot of really cool looking cards. These are, they're very nice quality. I feel like these are more of a Euro card sleeve, card size. So, smaller, easier to hold perhaps if you have smaller hands. All very unique stuff. It's really cool and really interesting. And there's also a lot of flavor text on every card about what it is. And so you can learn a little bit, including a lot of their Latin names for things are on here. Like the Chinese peony flower is the Peconia lactiflora. So I'm not going to try to pronounce all the Latin words, but it is interesting and cool that they incorporated all of that, real life scientific information into the game. They didn't have to. So yeah. We're going to end up, shuffling all of these cards into a big deck that, players will get to draw from during the game. And when you start the game, you'll choose from some starting cards that will allow you to, get some cards in your hand initially, and even cards in your compost to start out initially. And then these are also starting cards, and they're two-sided, so you can see what those look like. These would be an example of the island starting cards. You would get what's in the black area there, and then throughout the game, it can give you an ongoing, potentially an ongoing benefit there with the color. And the background color is really important because that's really where those combos happen. Once an active player, any active player chooses an action, everything that you have with that color can activate. Then you also get one of these like temperature cards, which gives you generally a starting ability that you can try to combo throughout the game. Okay. And again, these are different on the back. So that's where they're talking about having quite a bit of diversity in each game that you play, because not only will you have those to choose from, but you're looking at 2 cards, but you're also looking at the back. So you're looking at 4 options every time you play for, each set of these 3 cards, essentially. So these are the kinds of in-game scoring that you can get, called the ecosystems. And so these are ways to sort of, give you a nice trajectory towards, what you're working for, to score some extra points at the end of the game. And some of these are based on like rows or columns or diagonals and adjacencies and things like that. So as you build, as long as you don't outbuild a 4x4 grid, you can build out from wherever you start placing cards. And you can build out diagonally and orthogonally from where you started. And then these are the common goals that you can achieve during the game. And essentially on any turn that you've completed this, you can claim it. And if there's a tie for multiple players in that same turn achieving these, you go in turn order, because again, the points are awarded based on first come, first serve for completing it. So I'm flipping these over as well, just so you can see what's on the backs of these cards and get an idea for all the variety that you can see throughout the game. In general, it's a very beautiful game, and I think because it plays so quickly, or at least you're always engaged, that little downtime is a benefit, because it makes the game move along quite quickly and at a rapid pace. That being said, if you ever want to play a game where you have more time to think about things, this may not be it, because you will always have to be making decisions constantly. So a lot of times you just have to go with, all right, what's the best card I have to play right now that I can afford, and is it worth playing? Might as well, sure. And then go for all the combos that you can. But I really enjoyed this game. I think it's really fun, and the component quality here is really nice. Like I said, these cards look and feel great. And as you can see, there's a lot of variety here, not only in, the artwork and, what kinds of things they're representing with the flora, but the growth opportunities, the sprouts they can hold, and then the combos themselves of the background colors. That might be one detriment, is if you're colorblind, you may have trouble seeing the color difference. I'm not sure. I'm not colorblind. But since that is a major part of comboing in this game, that could be something that you want to look into if you're colorblind, before maybe purchasing it for yourself. If you can, take a look at a copy of someone else's or play it, and make sure you can distinguish those colors. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say other than, this is everything in the box. These are the last of the cards to look at. And it does come with the score pad, which is useful. There's a lot of things that you can score in this game. It's just one of those things. So this is all that comes with the game of Earth that released this year, 2023, and it's been very popular. I've seen it at conventions, being played on multiple tables, and consistently requested. So it's a hot item, and I think it's definitely worth trying if you like engine building and card playing and things where you get to do something on every turn. It's definitely really, it's worth trying for sure, and I enjoyed it. So certainly, if you want to talk about recommendations, give it a shot. 1 to 5 players, plays in 45 to 90 minutes. That's Earth. Thanks for watching this unboxing. And I've been Jared. Make sure to stick around on the channel to see other unboxings, including video reviews or news that we publish every other week on board gaming industry type stuff or new games announced. And we also have tutorials on the channel and lots more. So like and comment and all that YouTube stuff. Subscribe, stick around, don't miss anything. But thanks for watching. And until the next video, I've been Jared. Bye-bye.